Welcome to our Dungeon Master Chats Part 2. Today we're chatting with Joseph, who is another Dungeon Master. So, Joe, thank you for agreeing to chat with me about DMing. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Joseph Stewart. I'm from Gregg, New York, but I live in Boonville, New York. I work at Boondock Restaurant and Bar. I'm a line cook there. I've always loved fantasy, like the medieval aspect of fantasy. It's always interested me, and when I've got turned on to Dungeons and Dragons from a friend, from just talking about it, and he showed me it, it connected completely.
That's awesome. So how long have you been DMing?
3 years, since 2019, so I guess 2.5 years, almost 3 years. I started off by playing as a player in a small campaign, and I didn't really know what was going on, so we kind of went a little slower at first. I didn't really have the crazy things that my friends could do, but I really loved the concept of it. I don't know, it fits my personality.
Cool. We heard about that in our first chat with Bonnie. She kind of explained that you just keep learning more and more as you go on, and it gets easier as time goes on, and you catch on to different things and how different characters work with each other and such. Do you find that you prefer playing online or in person?
Honestly, I like both. Due to COVID, I had to switch from doing my in-person ones to online, and thankfully a friend of mine who also DMs showed me a website called Roll20.com that you can use to play with other players. It's an interactive map. The players can control their own characters. I can put hidden things on the map. I can control the lighting of the maps when they move around. The lighting of the map moves with them, so they can only see specific things that I want them, not really what I want them to see, but what their character would actually see.
That's really cool.
I do miss, because I haven't played in a while, in person, because I feel it's a different atmosphere with everyone together. Not saying it's not the same online, but when people are together, I feel like they interact a little bit differently.
I could see that.
Even even more in the sense that they could be more shy because now they're in person, they have people watching them, or the opposite, they can be more exuberant because they have people there to see them what they're doing. They could play their character more how they wish.
Okay, that makes sense. Do you have a preference between running a homebrew campaign or a module?
I myself have only ever run homebrew because not that I'm against module, I myself like to create the story how it comes out of my brain, and a module is preset, and yes, I can edit it as I feel. You do whatever you want. It's Dungeons and Dragons, but at the same time, I don't want to take away with what they've put there because they put their work into making it how they wanted it. I don't want to subtract from that, so therefore I prefer to write my own. Everything I've done, I've at this point created my own universe with characters, a timeline. Everything affects itself, and if you will, throughout the timeline. And I just prefer homebrew, except for some monsters. I prefer the preset monsters because it's kind of hard to make evenly balanced monsters.
I could see that. So how long do you spend preparing for a D&D session?
That has changed since I started. When I started, one session took me an entire day. I spent an entire day writing my first session. From when I woke up, my friends were like, hey, we kind of want to do this. I'm like, you know what? I have a week off. I'm going to do this for you guys. The whole day. Now I can do it in a couple hours. I was told once, the amount of time you play, you should spend double that prepping for it. And I believed that at first, but once you get the hook of things and whatnot, I used to write notes down, but I don't even use my notebook anymore. I keep everything basically in my head because I've gotten to that point. It's just natural, if you will. I have it remembered because I've done it so much, repetitive, if you will.
Neat. So how strict are you with the rules of your campaigns?
I wouldn't say too strict because I don't want to feel like the players are confined, because if they have a really cool idea, I'm not going to stop them from doing it. One time my character dropped his sword, no, not dropped it, but he got it wedged in a tree, and he was just like, can I, instead of taking my 2 actions, or taking an action and my bonus action to attack, can I just grab it and rip it out of the tree and swing with it at the same time? I'm just like, I don't think you can do that theoretically in the rules, but why not? Like, we'll throw something in there to let you do it. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it even says in the book, it says all rules are up to the GM's discretion. So really, the rules are my rules. So I guess really, if you want to say if I'm being strict about them, I guess yes in the sense because they're my rules. I don't know.
All right. So when it comes to mid-campaign stuff, how often do you find that you need to adapt your strategy? You know, if players start going off script, so to speak.
Well, that's the thing, is I've had to do that twice now, because two separate campaigns, same player, mind you, and this will circle back. We'll circle back to this one later, the first one, but the other one was just like, he had a spell that I didn't know he had, and the main villain was just being mind controlled the whole time, and he stopped it, and I didn't know he could do that, and it was just like, alright, so he's not the main villain anymore, he's now your ally, because you freed him. What do I do? Alright, dude next to him's the main villain now. He was the main villain the whole time, not really, he was kind of the main villain, but even so, it's like, I had to, on the fly, change stuff, and wing it, but, you know, I like doing that, though. I like when characters, I don't want to say change what I have planned, but throw the wrench in there. It's like, ooh, now I get to be more creative how to go about how this would affect everything, and really, I don't know, just get creative with what I want.
Cool. So what's your favorite part of DMing?
My favorite part, I guess, is writing a story that my friends can just delve into and enjoy themselves. Like, one of my friends said, Joe, this is a great place to get away from work. I don't have to think about work. I'm in another place. I don't have to stress about anything. I get to do something different. And I enjoy providing that for my friends and for other people, just like giving them an opportunity to have fun and enjoy themselves and just not think about their worries and stress.
Nice. What do you find most frustrating about being a dungeon master?
I guess really I don't have much frustration as a DM. The only thing
Good.
I get frustrated for is when players show up late or just don't say they're coming. Only because I spend a lot of time, even though I talked earlier about like I spend less time now prepping, but I still put a lot of time into preparing this for them and doing this and like creating all this stuff. And I don't want to feel like it's wasted because I'm not informed like, hey, I wasn't coming tonight because of this, or I just didn't feel like it, which I'm okay with that. Just give me a forewarning is all. Like, if anything's up, just let me know. Just give me the forewarning so I know.
Right. So are there any skills that you think DMing has helped you develop?
Creative thinking, definitely, because I get to just, again, think about and create what I want and go with it and test it, if you will. Other things it's helped me develop, what was it? It's on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to say directing people, but like, I don't know, helping people organize, if you will, as the DM, because like you have to keep track of not only 5 players, but you have to keep track of every NPC and how they all interact with each other and how their personalities, because like if you make an NPC, you want to keep true to what that NPC is, and things that he would normally do, not things that he wouldn't do, and you have to do that with each individual one and keep track of your 5 players. It's a lot of multitasking, so it helps you deal with that, I guess, if you will.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of very creative, organized storytelling skills. So can you give us an example of one of your favorite moments from a previous campaign?
Alright, I said we circle back to this one. This is when, the first time, I say it was my favorite, but I was literally in tears that night. But
I think we might have lost your audio. Are you still there? All right, we're having some technical difficulties.
Hello?
Okay, now we can hear you. Great.
Wow, my internet decided to cut out for a minute.
That's okay. That's been a theme with our D&D chats. So, you know, it's showing all of the Lions Falls Library folks out there the beauty of virtual contact.
Yep, this happens from time to time, but usually it fixes itself, so...
All right, so we're back now. So we didn't hear any of your favorite moment, so feel free to start that story again.
Well, I was saying, like, to circle back from before, this was, So, where was I? Set is right. I want to set the story right. My players, it was an Egyptian-themed campaign, and my players were trying to get, the Knapkick jars of rock to help defeat this big evil trying to overtake the country. But in the process, one of their allies was convicted for burning down an orphanage. He didn't. It was the evil person. And they knew that. So they went to go break him out of prison because he was set to be executed soon. And they break him out. And in the process, they're almost out of the city. They're escaping the city. They get to the main gate. And the King's Royal Guard is there. Just happened to be there in the crossing. And in my mind, this is just going to be a little skirmish. They're going to fight each other, and both of them are going to retreat when they get low on health. That was what my plan is, so I start doing that. And they start getting low, so my guys, like my Royal Guard, start to retreat. But my players didn't wish to stop, and they proceeded to kill 2 of the Royal Guard, and then leave. And I didn't expect that. I really wanted them to live. I was doing everything I can to make them live within the rules of D&D, but it didn't happen. They killed them. I'm like, all right, you know what? There is punishment for your actions in life, so therefore there are in D&D. They continue to where they're supposed to go. They get to the place, one of the temples. There's actually the third of the 4 they needed to go to. And they complete it, they get to the bottom, and they forget at the end of every temple that they get teleported back to the main square of the city. So they complete it, they get the jar they needed, and I teleport them back there without them, and they forgot about that. But not only did I teleport them back to the main square of the city, I teleported them into the middle of the funeral procession of the 2 guards they killed. The dead center of it. So they panic. Literally looks on their... I look at this as in person. I look on their faces, and they are in literal terror. In, like, actual faces. Like, what did you do? Granted, I had it set that they could get out of it fine. I just wanted to put the fear of God in them for derailing my campaign by killing those 2 guards. One of my favorite moments.
It sounds like a pretty good one. All right, so those are all the questions I have for you. Any final thoughts to anybody watching, you know, about D&D or DMing, anything?
Don't be afraid. Have fun with it. Be yourself. And if anyone judges you, don't care, because the point of it is to be someone else. At the same time, like, be yourself, being someone else. Express yourself how you feel, because it's what D&D is for. And that's what I love about doing it with my friends and just having fun with them doing it.
Awesome.
We have serious laughs over it.
That's really great to hear. This is the second of 4 conversations that we've had with Dungeon Masters, and so far that seems to be the general consensus, that it's a really good time.
especially with a good set of people.
Great. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today, and
No
thanks for sharing your knowledge.
Thank you for having me. It's honestly been fun.
Great.